Hey, alla Richard Metzelfan, huh? I'm bringing you guys a brand new 2020 album review. And today we're going to be looking into one of my favorite bands ever, their new album that came out today. Um, and they're pretty much one of the holy trinity in the whole Gothenburg scene, the whole melodic death metal from Sweden. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into the new album from Dark Tranquillity entitled Moment, which was released today under Century Media Records. Now, everybody should probably have known or at least heard of Dark Tranquillity. They formed in Gothenburg, Sweden in 1989. These guys, along with like In Flames and At the Gate, are part of like the holy trinity of the Gothenburg sound, the whole like Swedish melodic death metal movement. And melodic death metal, I feel like they sort of like it takes sort of like stuff from like the Tampa but death metal scene like Cannibal Corpse and stuff, mixing in with sort of like classic heavy metal like Iron Maiden with a little bit of like the Swedish folk in it. You could definitely hear that whole melody and stuff was sort of like the aggression just forming it together to form like melodic death metal, where I think the earliest stages they have like of like the vocals sort of like carrying the aggression, and yet they also have like the instrumentation is very melodic. And Dark Tranquillity for me, I feel like is pretty much the best out of the three. I feel like they've with every album they've just gotten in better and better. But they usually have like a formula, their sort of like sound, but they always perfect it with every album. Like even since their debut album in 1993 called Sky Dancer, and every album I feel like really when 1999's Projector hit, that was really when they started like changing up their styles, adding a lot more keyboards and piano, which adding a lot more depth and texture to it, and adding clean vocals and stuff. And they've just been putting out their albums, and this album is the band's overall 12th album, I believe, and this is the follow-up to their previous album and came out in 2016 called Atoma. But this album, does it live up to what Atoma has? In my honest opinion, I feel like it definitely has. With all the different everything that they've done, they've just gotten better. They've have like what makes them what they are, but they always experiment with every sound. One thing to note about is just the vocals from Mikael Stans. His vocals has really just improved a lot, especially when he does his harsh vocals. His harsh vocals are really great and just powerful, and just it just really conveys a lot of emotion to it, especially when he does his clean vocals. His clean vocals are really great. Has a lot of melody and emotion to it. You could definitely feel the emotion in his voice. The guitar work is tight. This is actually the first album without longtime guitarist Nicholas Sundin, who left the band in early 2020. And then I got two new guitar players, Johan Reynolds, I probably butchered his name, and Christopher Amott, who you probably know him, who played in Arch Enemy Carcass. And I just think their introduction to the band, well, they've been live musicians from 2017, but it wasn't until earlier in this year that they became full official members, and I feel like their contributions are great, just like the guitar playing and just the tones in general and the leads and everything is great. Bass wise, Anders Ewer's bass is really well up in the mix. It just flows well rhythmically, as well as with the drumming from Anders Ewer. His drumming is just superb, and just the keyboards from Martin Brandstrom. I just love, like I mentioned before, ever since he joined the band, it just really adds a lot of new dimension, a lot more depth to the songs. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the new album, track by track. Now, starting things off is the song Phantom Days, which really just sets the whole tone and mood for the album, and it's a good way to kick it off. And this song, I'm getting a lot of like Haven vibes in this one, and just some really great instrumentation, and it just really just carries the melody while the vocals sort of like carry the aggression. Great song to start things off. And then we lead into the next song on the album, which is called Transient. And this song has a really catchy chorus, and it makes you definitely want to bang your head. And I just love how just the rhythm guitar just grooves along sort of like the leads in the song. Then Identical to None, and this song just kicks right in from the get-go and doesn't waste any time, and Christopher and Johan just really show off what they can do in the riff department. Really fast-paced song, and I feel like this song kind of feels like something off of Damage Done. I really love the lyrics of like, what are you in the eyes of the strangers, you are identical to none. Why this disparity of thought when you are identical to none? Great song. And then we go on to the Dark Unbroken, which I'm definitely really sets the tone right here. It's very dark sounding. It starts off with some electronic keys that really just set a dark and ominous mood, as well as sort of like the guitars and drums. And I love like the vocals from Mikkel. His harsh vocals just sound crisp and powerful, and then the chorus hits, and then those clean vocals come in, and he just shows like some really emotion to it. And then a guitar solo comes in. It's just shred-tastic. It's like probably much one of my favorite songs on the album. Next song on the album is called Remain in the Unknown, and this is a definitely stands out from what we've heard so far on the album, and this feels really fresh and different. It has a little bit more of a positive and hopeful sound behind sort of like the melodies, and the vocals has a very clean sound, very clean vocals in the intro, which kind of reminds me of something from like Projector. And then we move on to Standstill, and this song just sounds like just gothic rock, something off of like Haven or Projector, and the piano, just in the terms of like the piano, the riffs and the chorus and just the vocals, and even the guitar solo has that gothic thick sort of like mood and tone to it. And I feel like there is like harsh vocals, but that's just not unheard of. We move on to the second half of the album, which is called Ego Deception, which is a great way to kick off the second half of the album. And this is one of the heaviest songs on here, and it's a good way to kick this part of the album off. It's a very guitar driven track. A drawn out exit, another one of the most aggressive songs on here in my opinion, has a great intro with sort of like Anders Ewer's bass just rumbling, just really just up front, the focus 4-center, and just sounds thundering, and just with even has some like thunderclaps, and it just builds into some great riffage and some sick vocals. Next song on here is called Eyes of the World, and this song is another one of the best songs on here, and this song has a great chorus, and this song just gets better every time you hear it. And then we go into Fail State, which this song is a very up-tempo track, and it has some great riff powers, and it just makes you we turn it up to 10 and just bang your head. Another great song. Then we move on to Empires Lost in Time. Another solid song. I do dig this song a lot. Like, all these songs are really fucking great. And then the album closes with In Truth Divided, which I think is a great way to end this album. This is pretty much the softest song overall, and the melodies here are just really powerful. And Mikkel just sings really brilliant here, and the guitars are very emotional sounding. And I just love the chorus and the lyrics, and just everything that this song has to end this album on a strong note. Now, overall, Moment by Dark Tranquillity, another great album in their discography. With every album, I feel like they've just evolving and just continue to get better with every album as well as they progress. So if I had to give this album a score, I'm going to give Moment by Dark Tranquillity a solid 9 out of 10. I think this is probably their best thing they've done since probably Fiction, or hell, even like stuff from like Projector or Haven. So yeah, that's my review of the new album, guys. Thank you guys for watching this. And also tomorrow, they're going to be doing a live stream show playing the new album from start to finish. So hope everybody's going to watch that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this little video. And as always, keep it metal.